Hi, this is Meilin. Today I will be running code for assignment chapter 4. The first question is to make a program that asks user for an input as temperature in Fahrenheit degrees and turn that into temperature in the Celsius and then print out the results. So it will ask me for input, and once I inputted that, it will give me the results in Celsius degrees. And the next question is still the same program, but it will take inputs from command line instead. So to running the code, and it will give the same output. And then the next question is the same temperature program, but it will also test if the input is provided, and if not, it will give user this message. I will test the code without giving an input. It will read that message. And then the next question is to ask user for an input and then apply the evaluate function on it, then print out type and value. So to run the code, I will firstly test with integer input, and then I will test with float, and then complex number, and we can also test with list input, and then tuple. And then the next question is the same program with the evaluate function, but it will take inputs from command line instead. So again, we will firstly test with integer, and then with float, and then with list. Oops. And then with tuple. And one last test we want to do on this is to test input of this is a string, and it will raise an unexpected EOF for parsing syntax error. The next question is to take two inputs T and V0 from user and set a variable G and then calculate Y using this formula and then print out the output. I will run the code from command line and input values, and it will give the results. And similarly, the next question is the same program but taking both of the two inputs from command line. So I will again run the code with those two inputs. We have added some blocks into this program which tests if the two inputs are provided or not, and if not, it will print out this message and ask the user to provide the input again. If I run the program without input, it will ask me to provide that now or print out the results. And then the next is still the same program, but it will also test, see if the value of T lies between 0 and 2V0 divided by G. For example, if I test with that input, it will give me that message and it will stop executing. And then next, similarly, I want to still test, see if T lies between that range, but if not, it will raise a value error instead, and it will give hint of what values the input T need to be. So, for example, if I test with this input, it will raise the value error and told me that t need to be between 0 and that number. And then the next question is to take 3 inputs from command line as year, month, and date, and then print out the weekday name of that specific date. So to test, and it will give me the corresponding weekday name. The last exercise is to create a program that read a text file and count the specific word and also the total count of words in that file. And the specific word we want to count will be provided through command line. So I'm using exactly the same example file, and I'm trying to see how many word string it has in the file. And that's all I have for today's assignment.